I go, all right, so this is where I gotta, I guess, be a dick and do my job.
You gotta be a journalist.
I'll be a journalist, but and throw the heat, I guess.
Throw the heat. What's up?
Do your
So,
thing. Okay.
two things. The Clarissa fight, get to that lastly, but first, the fallout from positive tests, the stuff that kept you out the ring for a while. Before that happened, I was on this show saying she sets the best traps in women's boxing. So when you talked earlier about I fight 3-minute rounds, I was, perfect. That makes sense because she slows the pace down like we see in men's boxing. We got 3 minutes instead of 2. I thought you were easily top 3 pound for pound. You got Clarissa, you got Katie, and then I thought, you know, in Serrano, a lot of people would still argue Serrano was in that spot, but I felt like Serrano's getting older, Baumgardner's in her prime, put her in the top 3. But all that said, when the tests came out, and I know the WBC, they spoke out in your favor since it happened, but it still said that it was in your system, that it wasn't not in your system, it was in your system, right? And I think it didn't surprise me in a way, one, because at this level, no one would really surprise me. So it's not singling you out. It's elite level sports. There's so much on the line.
I would surprise you.
Right. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You know, you work with Victor, and you know, I'm not putting nothing on you.
Shut up sometimes. Just shut up.
And that's my brother. I love that man. You know,
Shut up sometimes.
In a way, take it as a compliment if we're off base here, because it means you're performing so well and your body looks so good that people would believe, oh, she may have done something. So when I heard about it and I'm flashing back, I'm getting images in my head when you're flexing on the camera, talking your talk, and it's like, man, them guns are bigger, you know, definitely bigger than mine because you work out a lot harder. But she, you know, looking at the muscle and everything, it's like, and that it's elite level sports. I think there's a lot of fans who probably felt the way I felt and weren't surprised that it came out. What do you say to those fans who think, yeah?
You know, that whole situation was a really telling moment in my life. And what I do know, and again, I speak from the heart and I speak from just being honest because, again, God blesses that. I'm a product of a higher calling, to say that. People have to understand I've had this body since a young age. These are genetics.
Right.
You either got it or you don't. And I got it, right? And so with knowing that at a young age and growing into my womanhood, I hated having muscles. I didn't think it was something girls should have. So I already had that notion in the back of my mind, like, girls shouldn't have muscles. This isn't normal, right? So because I kind of carried that insecurity and I grew into loving my body and knowing that this is a gift of stature, you know? I'm a woman of stature. In the back of my mind, I'm like, people probably already think I do PEDs. I mean, look at me. It's not normal to some people, but for the ones who know what hard work looks like, what genetics looks like, you look at track girls. Track girls are all cut up. You know what I mean?
Sexy.
I'm saying.
Okay,
and
chill out.
And that's just what it is. So again, fast forward into this test, and when I got the call, I could not believe it. I'm like, I'm the most cleanest. I am a clean athlete. I love health and wellness. I juice every day. I open my juice business. Like, I'm very intentional when it comes to what I'm putting in my body, how I'm performing. Again, I have so many people looking up to me, young girls looking up to me. So again, in my mind, for people, why would I have to cheat to get ahead? Why would I have to cheat to feel like I have to have an advantage? Like that was never my.
What if the fans are thinking, because behind closed doors, a lot of them are doing it. So
a lot of people are doing it,
yeah.
right? They are doing it, and I know I was asked this question when I was in London for the first fight when Conor Benn's test came out. Hey, I support clean boxing. I support clean athletes. Again, I think everybody should be tested. I asked for testing for this fight specifically because I knew the fighter that I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So I already took the precautions in wanting to have a clean fight as is because it's not pushed in the sport. And again, I think it's also important that athletes are able to do their own due diligence when it comes to that. I said I wanted that. So again, when it came back, I'm like, what? Like that shit pissed me off. Like I was pissed. Again, I did everything I was supposed to do right. Okay, now what's next? The shit's already out there. What's next now? Okay, let me get experts involved. Let me get a hair test, a hair follicle test involved. Let me spend my own money that I just earned trying to get at a stage in my life. I spent I spent 7 months doing that. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I told myself, the ones who are going to believe you are going to believe, and the ones who don't aren't. You know, I'm not here to prove it to y'all, because at the end of the day, God, like it's a God relationship with me. God knows my heart. Mm-hmm. So that's just all I can say. And again, for moving forward in my career, make sure that there's testing, make sure that I'm getting tested double. Like, I don't know, whatever it is to make everybody else feel better, cool, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. So let's cap this with that. The whole situation was completely unintentional.
Unintentional.
Right. Just so that you've said that. Now, the other side of that is you've made the necessary adjustments so that it doesn't happen again. Mm-hmm. And any idea what it was, anything like that? I didn't follow the story, so I don't know what.
Contamination.
Yeah.
Contamination. And people have to understand that this stuff actually happens. Now, there's people who are intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you also have to understand in my mind, when this came out, how is this stuff actually being tested? You know what I'm saying? Who's actually in the lab? How are these tests being done? I'll be honest with you. I don't like getting tested, having my urine transfer. It's in somebody's fridge. Now it's in someone else's hands. Like, I think we need better testing. I don't know if it's a facility. I don't know if we need to go there. I don't know what it is, but I think the way it's done isn't handled properly. That's just my opinion.
Not a fan of VADA, or?
I'm a fan of VADA because I'm enrolled in VADA. I'm just saying, like,
because that's basically the only testing we
so maybe we need to be more intentional with that. You know, I look at the UFC. They go off of, I think, more rules in terms of their fighting and what they're able to test for. Again, be intentional.
At the same time, it's just like boxing judges. Why are we not holding VADA accountable for the mistakes? I've been owning a plumbing company. I've been doing it 15 years and I fuck up. We're humans. We mess up.
We are humans.
So let's hold who accountable. Who had this? Can we name all the people that touched the urine until it got sampled?
And that's what the testing was, or the experts that I got involved. They were seeing what was the temperature of the urine when it left that person's hand. Mm-hmm. What was the temperature when it was in the fridge? Those things matter because you're dealing with bodily fluids. Mm-hmm. Chemical changes are happening all the time. Mm-hmm. It could be like when I talked to one of the experts who's in the MLB, they're the top when it comes to, you know, this testing.
Yeah, they don't F around.
Yeah. It could be a slight temperature change that could change it to make it a slight positive, to be like, oh, it was this. Yeah. It's very tedious, very tedious. So again, you know, I'm happy to be able to speak about it. And again, to let fighters know, if you have to do your own independent testing, do that. And again, the truth is always going to set you free. And that's why I'm here today with my belts. Because again, God don't bless ugly. So